A woman raising the 4 Kardashian kids.
She wasn't the easiest to work for because she was very particular.
Fun activities for the grandkids.
Can you ever have a day with some grandkids without a nanny?
Yes.
I'm a single mom of 4, and it is wild.
Each child has their own nanny.
I have uniforms. Grays, Heather Gray, black. I have a handbook, yeah.
Apparently she made her nannies call her madam at all times.
She said that she felt so degraded by you.
I don't have a nanny anymore.
What?
Courtney, you can't even keep a nanny.
Crib, shut the f up. And I used to slap my nannies. Like, bam.
Celebrity nannies have been around for decades, and a lot of times these celebrities who are nepo babies, they're raised by these nannies, and these nannies are kind of like the parent to the children because these celebrities are so checked out, whether they're on set or, living their lavish life. Nonetheless, I think it is fascinating to be a celebrity nanny. I mean, I just saw a video recently from Alabama Barker where she shared a little story with her nanny about growing up.
This is Adela. She's been with our family for, how many years have you worked here?
My God, you have, whether you born, I'm here.
I was born.
Yeah.
So she's been with us for 17 plus years. Actually, probably like 20.
20, yeah. I remember when you born.
I love her.
This is baby. That's in the baby. I know like this.
And it really seems like these are mother figures to these children's lives, which makes them crucial and an important part of the family. But there are some people who take them for granted, which is why we're going to talk about the Kardashians and what's going on with all of their nannies. This headline reads, "The Kardashians and the demeaning selection process to be their children's nanny." Now, a lot of people question how the Kardashians do it. How do you work so much? How are you constantly at every event, but also raising all these kids? Well, it's because they hire handfuls and handfuls of nannies to take care of all of them. According to Radar Online, the process to become one of their nannies is demeaning. It actually turns out if you admit to purchasing some of their products, some of their cosmetics within your interview, you'll get some brownie points. In addition, there are rules to be followed by the future babysitters of the Kardashian clan, and there is no competition in candidacy, as unrealistic as it may seem. These nannies are also expected to have a high taste for fashion and style, not only for themselves, but also for these children. They also must be available at all hours for anything they ask, and another one of the requirements is that the babysitter must not have excessive physical attractiveness, as in they can't one-up the Kardashians. But you've got to keep in mind of where these people come from. They grew up with nannies themselves, so they understand the game, and it's why they have these crazy rules. We actually found an interview from one of the Kardashians' old nannies, and let's take a look at what she had to say about raising these kids.
A woman who lives right here in South Dakota, who is very influential in raising the 4 Kardashian kids. She's known as the Malibu Nanny.
I actually started on their wedding day, and I was a nervous wreck because here are all these kids, all the girls were in these pristine white dresses, and they're running around on this grass, and I mean, I'm having like nightmares that they were going to get all these grass stains and I'm going to be fired on my first day. She wasn't the easiest to work for because she was very particular about everything.
No surprise there.
And knew how she wanted things, and she would have quite a list of things for me to do every single day. These kids were like my kids, and I mean that in a respectful way, but I was just spent so much time with them that they were like family. Money does not buy happiness. Now, I'm not just referring to the Kardashians, but many people that live in Beverly Hills and Malibu and that whole area. There's a lot of money and a lot of unhappy people.
So sad to hear that there are so many unhappy families there, but it's also so true. Like, she's too real for that. Let's talk about the time the Kardashians once hired an adult star to babysit Kendall and Kylie for the show. As if Kim hooking up with Ray J publicly wasn't enough, during the same season that tape was released or leaked, it wasn't leaked, but on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, they had an adult star. Kris is the one who hired this nanny to watch her then 11-year-old and 10-year-old, but despite calling what Khloe later described as a very reputable agency to find someone to fill the position, the nanny who shows up is no Mary Poppins. It also looks like she tries on Kris's jewelry and sunbathes topless, and of course this is all like, fake and made up. But why is Kendall 11 and Kylie 10 and they're being exposed to this babysitter who's acting in such a way? Although Kris tried to act surprised by this woman's behavior, it turns out Kris actually booked her through her agent, and she did this little skit on Keeping Up with the Kardashians between 2 adult films, Mandaconda 2 and Tinker with My Stinker. Wait, Mandaconda 2 and Tinker with My Stinker. I literally cannot. I'm disgusted. I'm going to gag. I need my juice. Although it was a fake setup, she does claim that she did in fact babysit these two because, you know, Kris Jenner, she's going to hire you for a job. She's going to make sure you do every single part of that job and stuff you didn't even sign up for. She said when the camera stopped, it was a real job. I didn't expect that. I kind of freaked out. I'm like, wait, are you really leaving me with these kids? So I just started talking with them. I was so nervous because they were so tiny at the time. They were at that awkward stage where they're girls trying to be grown up, and I'm thinking, I don't even know what to say. She even helped them with their homework. So again, she may have been hired by a talent agent, but she really did end up babysitting. They were both looking at her and said, well, are you going to help us with our homework? So I really sat there and I was helping these girls with their stuff. And it was funny because I was like, as much as the production tried to set it up, it was so real at the same time because whenever the cameras turned off, that's real life. Here's a clip from that moment.
I'm Bree the nanny.
You're Bree the nanny. Nice to see you. This is Bree. Came to help out. Kylie.
Hey.
Kendall, are you good with homework?
Yeah, definitely. They need some help with their homework.
No, they always are going to need help with their homework. Yeah.
But Dad, it's a Friday. We're supposed to have fun today.
Yeah.
Go. I'm not ready. Don't squeeze my neck. Oh, you have to squeeze my neck.
Oh, wow. Okay. I like how she's like not even watching the kids.
Hey, it's Kris. Leave your name and number and I'll call you back.
Hey, honey, where are you? You gotta call me back. Nice idea to get a nanny, but it's just really starting to bother me now.
Whoa, look at this closet.
Oh, I would be so mad if I was Kris and I saw this woman going through my things.
Oh, man. All right, let's just go on. This looks good. What do you think of this?
Girls, get to your homework! I'd like to fire this nanny right now.
Now, the fake nanny was cool for a show, for a little segment, but let's get into the real nannies who are actually being, I don't know, I think disrespected and underpaid. Let's talk about Kim Kardashian because she has a team of nannies for her 4 kids. We all know that diapers aren't going to change themselves and the reality star needs her beauty sleep. In fact, Kim hired a night nurse after her first child, Northwest, was born. Sleep is very important to Kim. Without 8 to 10 hours, she just can't function, a source said, which, damn, that must be nice. At the time, Kim and Kanye's night nurse sleeps in the nursery with North, and if she needs a diaper change, a feeding, or to be soothed, it's the hired help that's taking care. Of course, now that Kim is a single mother, her nanny game has stepped up, and it seems like she is actually the stricter parent out of the two. Kim sends her own nannies with the kids when they're away with Kanye, and they have firm rules they have to follow. Quote, there's a very tight schedule, what time they go to bed, what time they eat, when they eat, how much sugar they have, which is pretty typical of any type of parent. Now, when these nannies are at home at Kim's, sanctuary, that white hospital looking church place, it actually looks like they have a dress code. Kim wants all of her nannies to avoid wearing any hues. So they must wear neutral colors if they're going to be working in Kimberly's space. So just removing that individuality away from them. Kim confirmed the rumor on Angie Martinez's podcast when she told the host that she requires her staff to wear color coordinated outfits and she has a handbook that they have to follow. Kim does share that she gives them one day that they can wear whatever they want, which is on their birthday. And those are the days that she has to deal with the color in her face, which is just so hard for Kimberly.
And when I walk in and I see just a calm, peaceful, workspace, living space.
The people who work here are all color coordinated.
Yeah.
Is that intentional?
Absolutely. I have
Stop.
uniforms.
Is there really a uniform?
Well,
Stop.
it's not like, hey, this is your uniform. It's just color palettes.
Is this like a handbook though? Is this
I have a handbook.
You
Yeah.
do?
Yeah. Grays, heather gray, black, navy, white, cream, khaki. I mean, we can stick with all neutrals and not a lot of color blocking. My house is so zen. So I asked how everyone felt about it. And everyone actually said that would make our life so easy. And once everyone was on board and thought it would be easier for them,
You were
I was
yes.
yes, let's do this.
It's so good. It really is a feeling.
I should
It
have
really-
a free dress day on their
Friday?
birthdays or something.
Yes.
A free dress
No, you'll hate it
Friday.
because somebody will wear something
I
wild and
know,
it will
I know,
irritate you the whole day. You don't
But
want
I'll
to do
be
it.
prepared.
On top of avoiding color at all costs, they're also not allowed to wear jewelry. This rule also extends to her kids and any visitors in her house. Kim implemented this rule after she was robbed at gunpoint in October 2016. Remember when she was tied up in the bathroom and they stole millions of dollars worth of jewelry, which is still wild that happened to her. Since the traumatic incident, Kim said that she wanted to replace all of her nannies, not because they're not doing their job, but because she has trust issues now, and the last thing she wants is someone effing with her children. Ooh. She said the thieves have been hearing interviews that I get excited about this jewelry or that jewelry, and it's not to say that I'll never wear jewelry again, but I don't know if I'll ever feel comfortable doing so. Being a celebrity nanny is an intense job. You pretty much give up your own identity, your own friends, your own life. I can't imagine doing this. Comment below if you guys have ever been a nanny before, if you know any of them. I mean, I feel like they don't get a lot of free time. Kim has teams of staff on call 24/7. When they're away, they take a nanny with them to help out if they're too busy. And it looks like they're spending up to $100,000 a month taking care of all of these people, flying them around and paying them a salary. Each nanny makes about $100K a year. The cost is through the roof. They've spent a fortune since Chicago was born in mid-January, which I feel like Chicago is low-key my favorite of all their kids. I feel like she's going to be the supermodel of the family. But with Kimberly everywhere, with her acting now, TV, at these events, it makes you question how much time are these nannies spending with these kids? I mean, is it actually even worth $100,000 a year if it's a 24/7 job?
Kardashian Insider recently spilled the tea on how much time Kim really spends with her children. Kim is apparently gone for most of the day, and since each child has their own nanny, the nannies basically serve as substitute moms to North, St., Chicago, and Psalm. These reports come just months after Kim claimed in her interview with Jay Shetty that Kanye is the absent parent and that she does all the work raising the kids on her own.
Although we see a lot of these nannies in Kim's paparazzi pictures, they are not supposed to be in any photographs. They're actually supposed to walk behind her at all times. But it looks like one upside is allegedly some of these nannies get a lot of hand-me-downs, which sounds nice in theory, but with the Kardashians having their Kardashian closet, I'm pretty sure they're not giving up much. They're reselling it, even if it's like dirty and worn out. We've made a video about that before. On top of complete isolation and restriction from your old life, you're also not allowed to have a phone with you, which I think is fascinating because how does Kim expect to communicate with these people? But it looks like it's a fireable offense to be caught with a phone. This is mentioned in their manual, a thick manual for the nannies about Kim's rules and how they treat and interact with the kids.
Why she is always being driven by the chauffeur and having 4 nannies. She calls herself single parents.
I am a single mom of 4, and it is wild.
Right when I think I have 2 minutes just to wash my hair. Mom, did you know? And they open the door to the shower and, oh,
Don't fall, please. Come on, you're giving me a heart attack.
don't mind my injured kid crying in pain. This is what they do to me.
You know, I'm just one person and it's overwhelming. Just how do I go about doing this all?
Is getting roasted by so many people's comments that when she has 4 nannies and all this help, she can't call herself single parent.
That is an interesting thought. Comment below, do you think she's still considered, because I thought the single part referred to the relationship status, but I guess it also refers to the fact that they're single-handedly taking care of them. So maybe that's what it meant. Either way, nannies are nothing new for this family, and every sister has their own. There's evidence of this within their shows, so they're not hiding anything.
To plan some fun activities for the grandkids.
Can you ever have a day with some grandkids without a nanny?
Yes. Well, she's never had all the kids before at one time without help.
P, are you hungry? There's food over there.
But I know she's raised all of us, so I know she can do it.
Do you guys want to sit at the table?
Yeah. But it's just hard to release control.
I actually remember whenever I used to live in DC, there was someone who I met that was actually one of Kylie Jenner's assistants. And at one point she was hired by Kris to go and babysit for them. And they had to make cookies or something. It was such a random story. But this article reads, one of the nannies have now revealed what it's like to work for the famous family, admitting that Kim Kardashian spoils her children. I mean, everyone can tell by the way they act. And they revealed some of Kourtney Kardashian's insane demands. I could have seen that coming. Kim has actually voiced her concerns about spoiling her kids, saying, I worry about giving my kids too much. We don't do gifts. They have to really earn it, which BS, but okay. The source told Life and Style that Kim actually does give her children everything they demand. This same source said that Kim can work 14 to 16-hour days, which means the nannies could be working those as well, which I'm starting to question. Okay, wait, 14 to 16 hours, but she has to sleep 8 to 10 hours a night. So if it's 14, Okay, I guess it makes sense. So she sleeps the 10. So she just really goes right to bed when she's done sleeping. So they're taking care of those kids the entire time. At one point, Kim said something about a nanny, hiring a male nanny, which I just feel like these people, they're constantly talking a little bit too much.
Kim Kardashian revealed she hired a male nanny, for her sons to have a male influence following divorce from Kanye West. I do think that my household and even our family is very female dominated. I recently hired a nanny. I really wanted a male around that would be picking them up and taking them to sports. And I was scared out of my mind to tell their dad that. Bruh, America is so backwards. I guess it was too much to ask their dad to do it.
Kourtney has admitted that she has a much more relaxed approach to parenting, than it comes to her sisters. Quote, I find with my kids that coming from more of a loving approach is best. Of course, she's going to describe herself as loving, trying to insinuate that her sisters are not. However, Kourtney's parenting style has been criticized by her sister Kim, who said that Kourtney can't even keep a nanny due to her children misbehaving. Kim's comments seem to have backed up, as a source told Life and Style that Kourtney goes through nannies pretty frequently. They said Kourtney either fires the nannies or they get fed up with her children misbehaving and quit. The source said that Kourtney isn't a fan of rules, including bedtimes, and said her home is full of chaos most days, which does seem so different than Kim because Kim is so structured and orderly. Of course, Kourtney never wants to work because she can't even get anything in order at home. And hell, the nannies aren't going to do it either. The source said that Kourtney's kids, Mason, Penelope, Rain, and Rocky, rule the house, but they're not the only ones who can be demanding of staff. The source said that on one trip to Hawaii, when Kourtney sent their nanny to an out-of-the-way health store to buy ingredients for breakfast, the source added she has no regard for how ridiculous her asks can be. It's like she's living on her own planet.
Celebrity Nannies Part 2. So this one's about Kourtney. Apparently she made her nannies call her madam at all times, and according to this lady that did an interview with her about her on YouTube, said that she asked me to call her madam at all times, and Nannie said about Kourtney, not addressing Kourtney as madam resulted in meltdowns. Can you imagine, like, you're just going about your day and you need something, you're like, Kourtney, oh my god, like, I didn't hire you as my nanny for you to not address me as madam. And then you're just like, Kourtney, there's people that are dying.
If Kourtney is forcing her nannies to call her madam, then, I mean, this needs to stop. We're living in a crazy world. If my boss was making me call her madam, I would probably quit too. And Kim actually accused Kourtney of constantly degrading her staff with a brutal confrontation. You guys may remember seeing this fight play out on the show. The argument appears to stem from the fact that Kourtney is taking parenting cues from a 6-year-old, as she explains that her son Rain is big on her confronting people in front of him. Apparently, anytime Rains hears a comment he dislikes, Kourtney is forced to speak with the perpetrator in a bid to show her son that she has his back. Which, this is already next level. I mean, what kind of defensiveness are these people operating in? In this instance, Rain had been upset about a comment made by a nanny about it being illegal to talk in the car rather than put an end to this manipulative tattling. Literally 6-year-old child stuff that adults should be able to see past. But Kourtney instead decided to confront her in a restaurant. Kim says the nanny felt degraded by Kourtney, who yelled and humiliated her in public. Apparently, the nanny was found hysterically crying and packing a bag, convinced that she was about to be fired. Kourtney, however, says that this is all a lie and there wasn't even a 1% chance that she yelled at this nanny. Now, I 100% believe this nanny. I don't think she's gonna go and make it up, but honestly points to Kim for standing up against her sister because Kourtney is totally delusional.
Did ever say anything to you?
Yeah, we had a talk and she was crying and she thought she was going to lose her job.
Kim's nanny and I had a little disagreement when we were away traveling together, but I haven't really spoken to Kim about it, so I want to see what's going on.
She said that she felt so degraded by you and you just started yelling at her.
Oh my God.
You said, keep your voice down.
She's lying.
Look how defensive Kourtney is right away.
She said, I wish she would have tapped me on the shoulder and said, hey, something's really bothering me. Can I talk to you? And we could have talked in private, but for her to yell at me in a
There's
restaurant.
not even 1% that I yelled. Chad was like, I'm so shocked. He's a pastor. He was like, I cannot even believe that she would even speak like that. She's the one who raised her voice, which is why I said, lower your voice.
I mean, she went in the other room and was crying, like was making plans to go home. And I was like, you're not fired. Like,
it's okay. We're going to talk about this.
Now, given Kourtney's history with the nannies, including the time she defended her daughter after she deliberately scratched one in the face, or how she merely admitted to slapping her own caretakers as a child, I'm not entirely sure I can get on board with her version of events.
I don't have a nanny anymore. What? She said P was really upset. She was putting her in the car and Penelope scratched her face, but P can be out of control. I think she almost like blacks out and like does these wild things, but like if you're a nanny, you
Okay, well, the nanny is not, I mean, I do feel like Kourtney has these demon children that do not know how to behave.
also.
I've never had. If a kid scratches, can you pop the kid and it's cool?
No, but you could also say something to her in the moment. I don't know. I think you need to reach out to her and you need to say, I am so sorry.
This is so much more serious than I think you realize because I had 6 kids. Not one time in my entire life did anyone ever have a complaint like this, ever.
I scratched you and
Also, it looks like, I feel like this is when Chris had something done. I mean, take a look. It's very tight, very full.
I used to slap my nannies. Like, bam,
We need to take care of this before it gets too far out of control.
So Kim has called out Kourtney on her reputation of degrading her staff. Kim also makes it a point to say that she likes to retain her own staff for a long time, in clear reference to Kourtney's previous nannies quitting over her kids' behavior. Kourtney responds with that she'll never allow this nanny around her kids again. Kim yells back that Kourtney, you can't even keep a nanny.
she's like, boy, you're a liar. And I was like, excuse me? You're gonna call a 5-year-old a liar?
Yeah, she definitely shouldn't have said that. But she told me that, you know, if you would have tapped her and said, hey, can we not talk about this like in a very public
Anyone
restaurant?
can say. No one was hearing how loud I was talking, though. I was said it very quietly.
Okay, I don't want to talk about this with you because you obviously don't get it. I like her, so she's not getting fired. I like to keep my
Keep
staff
her.
for a long time,
Yeah, I
so
don't
that's
care.
how I feel.
She will not ever be around my kids.
Kourtney, you can't even keep a nanny.
Kim, shut
Kourtney is so difficult to deal with.
the up, honestly. The way you're talking is wild.
Kim is throwing out all these jabs, like intentionally to hurt my feelings, none of which were even true, like throwing out random lies about my own stuff. I think that was just like really, really hurtful coming from my sister.
You keep projecting all your bullshit onto me.
I have none.
Hey, Kim, look in the mirror.
I do every 5 minutes.
Now let's talk a little bit about Chloe. Chloe has an interesting relationship with True and Tatum. In the beginning, she said that she didn't really feel connected to Tatum, but a source said that she treats her staff like family and they're all super close. So I'm not surprised that Chloe's the nicest one. Comment below, if you guys worked for one of the Kardashian Jenner sisters, which one would you want to work for? Chloe's always had this generous, inclusive personality, but when it comes to taking care of the people who watch your children, she can't do enough for them. She sees her 2 nannies as the kids' extended family. Supposedly, Chloe gives the most insane bonuses around the holidays, and on vacations, she's not booking them hotel rooms that are any less than what she's booking herself. When they're with her, they get everything she gets, which is pretty nice. Despite all the help, Chloe likes to remain hands-on with True and Tatum. She wakes them up in the morning, she puts them to bed at night. They said the only time that Chloe takes for herself is her workout time, the source added. She tries to do that really early, but that's why she has the live-in help.
You know, I don't have nannies at night, which I might have to change or at least have like someone be available.
So you've no one that lives in right now.
And I'm just so hands-on.
Not
So
school
I do,
half the time, but
I know,
not
but I
Friday.
make all of her lunches. I make her like I do everything. I don't let anyone else do it. Tristan has done it. Listen, I love my routine, but being a parent is hard, and it's every day after 8:30 when True's asleep. I am like crawling, like I'm Leonardo DiCaprio out of Wolf of Wall Street to my bed. Like, how do I get there? Then you wake up again and you do it all over. It's the weirdest thing because you're exhausted and you're like, I'm going to die. And then literally when they're asleep by 10, I'm like, I miss them. Like, get it together, Chloe.
I feel like Chloe is probably the only one I'd want to work for. Insiders reveal when it comes to Kylie Jenner, they're working 12-hour shifts. It looks like Kylie hires nannies for 2 of her kids and keeps them on a seriously rough work day. The nannies work 12-hour shifts. They have hardly any work-life balance. It's extreme. And on top of that, Kylie is super strict about everything from sleep schedules to what her children eat. She'll say the exact number of grapes Stormy should be given for a snack. Everything is down to a science. However, the insider insisted that Kylie's kids are well behaved, so they're not like Kourtney's. But allegedly, Kylie has her nannies work tirelessly, and it was so rough that one of them actually quit.
The girl that used to nanny for Stormy. She was there for a couple years. Long story short, this girl who had been with her for a few years, Kylie told her like, oh, you know, you're going to cut back on sugar. She needs to go to bed early. She needs to start hearing the word no, like things like that. And this specific week or like a few days leading up to it, Stormy kept like coming out of the bed, or she hit this nanny girl. We're going to call her Sarah. Okay, just Sarah.
And this is all alleged.
Yes, all alleged. This is hearsay. So Stormy, I guess, hit Sarah in the face. So that was kind of a thing. She was kind of feeling it. And she's like, I'm going to tell my mommy that you hit me. So then Stormy wants candy. And Sarah says, no, we can't have candy. Like, she's being a little bit more strict. Well, one of the nannies sees this. So then she tells Kylie. And when Kylie gets home, hearsay, I guess Stormy was kind of crying. She wasn't in bed. And Kylie's like, well, what's going on? And so Sarah tells her, she's like, I had to say no, like all this stuff. And Kylie's like, well, you know, like I like when you give her options, not just no. And so then they let the girl go because she was too strict.
It doesn't sound like these people even know what they want, but I want to hear what you guys think of this video in the comments below. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and here's my email if you have any other video ideas for me. I'll see you guys in a new video soon. Bye, guys.